What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Evolution Podcast. Today, we have a very, very, very exciting guest. It's one of my very good friends from a young age. Someone that I look up to in terms of dedication, discipline, motivation. When he's working towards his goals, it's very inspiring because this guy is resilient. This guy is a fucking beast. He's a professional boxer with a record of 3-0. He had over 41 amateur fights. Finally went into the pros and he's dominating. His highlight reels are actually insane. Lightning hands. By me, around me, and going to be soon worldwide, he's known as the General. My very good friend, Anthony Demonte.
Thank you for having me, Alva. My name is Anthony Demonte. Boxing name is the General. Like you said, pro boxer, 3-0, 2 KOs, and my goal is to be world champion, and I'm on the right path right now. I just got to stay focused, keep working hard, and I know I'll be there eventually. Thank you again for having me.
Of course, I have no doubt about that, and I'm being completely honest. Like, when I see your highlight reels, I show it to everybody. I show it to my brother and my family. Your hands, like when you're doing even the TikTok, like when they have like the bell thing, when you're going the fast hands, when you're doing the uppercuts, lightning speed. Like, so first and foremost, I want you to tell me a little bit about like what goes into your training to make you where you are today. I know growing up in high school, you always were that person to training, always loved boxing. Then you took a little bit break. You started working at your dad's restaurant. But now you're back in it full force, full-time job. This is your focus. What goes into that on a daily basis?
Yes, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency. So I started at 13 years old, and I did it for so many years. When I took that break and went to work, I think I just wanted to know what the regular life was. I was basically this machine that was training 2 times a day, every day, and I didn't experience anything else. So I was seeing everybody around me get normal jobs. I was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should try regular work, working a 9 to 5, And I went. I tried to work with my dad. I tried a construction job. I even had a great job as a longshoreman, and I was making $100,000. I could have made $100,000 a year to start, and I gave it all up because when I was there, I just didn't feel myself. Boxing it's in my blood, and it's just what I love to do. So when it took a while to really understand that, but then when I was 22 years old, I really understood that a 9 to 5 isn't for me, and I got to chase my dream 100%. So that's when I stopped working and pursued it to the fullest, and now 25 still going, and I'm going to keep going until I know there's going to be my career.
100%. When you were working that 9 to 5, was there a specific event that made you like cut it there and say like, this is not for me?
It's crazy because it took 3 years to get into the piers as a longshoreman, and first day I got in there, when I had that hard hat on, it sunk in that I was like, this is going to be the rest of my life. Like, I felt like I was built for something more, and I knew it was boxing. So right after that day, I went home, told my dad I don't want to work anymore. I want to go back. He wasn't excited at first, but then when he saw the determination in me, when I went back, he saw my first amateur fight back. I dominated, and then he was behind me 100%. And I have a good, strong support system around me. My mother, my father, my sister, and my brother really support me 100%. And now they're all in with me, and it's been going good.
There's nothing better than a full support system behind you that really helps you move, because sometimes it's hard. The journey is not an easy journey, what you go through. So sometimes you need people to pick you up. You may be the person leading the pack, but the leader sometimes also needs that motivation to keep going, keep leading, keep dominating, because sometimes you may have, I don't know about you, but from my perspective, sometimes there may be doubts that come into my mind that my support cast kicks right out after potentially, a hard training session. You're like, yo, this shit's fucking, this grind is like, like nothing else. And there's the people behind you, like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be like, and they push you forward. You know what I mean?
It's very important. Very important. They keep the vision clear for you.
Yeah.
So it's important to have a strong support system.
Exactly. And going back to what you said about the first day in the job, like as a longshoreman, and to also like know, like, that's a very, very good job, like $100K a year. Like, people try to get that job and cannot land it. Multiple of my friends have tried to get in the longshoreman, and because of the amount of money they make, right? So it's a goal of some people, and to be able to go there, land the dream of other people, still have that lack of fulfillment, and say, like, this is not my passion. Like, that's a tough decision, bro.
Yeah, it was a very tough decision because I could have, because I would have been 5 years on the job already, able to buy a house, successful right now, but I was looking at that gold pot at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I know it'll take longer to get there, but when it gets there, I could make the millions, which I'm not going after the money though. It's the championship belt. That's the real dream. See, a lot of people chase the money. I chase happiness. I wake up every day with drive, doing what I love to do every day. So that's important to me. I would have been happy. I would have been happy because I was making money, but would I truly been happy doing that job? No. I would have always felt like there was something missing, and I would have had that what if in my head. And I don't want to die with that what if in my head. I want to look back at my life when I'm in my 70s, 80s, knowing I did everything to accomplish my dreams and I went after my true happiness.
What an amazing point of view. What an amazing perspective. That is the exact mindset everybody should have, because it's not about the money, right? Money is just a tool to allow you to have a bigger impact and allow you to achieve more fulfillment in your life. You're seeking true fulfillment. You would have went and got the money as a longshoreman, but you would have not been fulfilled because your passion was boxing. Your dreams were centered around the sport of boxing, that championship belt, being in the ring, holding up that belt in front of your family, in front of your fans, growing that fan base, right? That is your dream. That's what you have in your head. And then being on the dock every single day, like with a hard hat, being so disaligned with that dream is going to really take away from your happiness and your level of fulfillment. I define happiness as how fulfilled are you with your current life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Happiness is not excitement. People are often like confused, like, oh, I'm happy right now, and they're all smiling. That's excitement. Happiness is a calm feeling of fulfillment. You look back and say, I grinded, I worked my ass off, I'm supporting my family, I did what I had to do, I'm accomplished, I'm fulfilled. You know what I mean? I chased what I wanted to chase and I had success. I took the risks and I reaped the rewards, right? So that's what you chased, and that's a decision you made at a young age of what, 22 you said?
21 is when I made that decision. 22, I went back to boxing and made it a thing. I was never going to stop now. There was no plan B and plan C, and I would like to talk about that too, because a lot of people have that plan B. The plan B, in my mind, distracts from plan A. When you have just one thing that you're going to put your heart and soul into, that's when you're going to become successful and make it.
Facts.
When you have that in the back of your head, I could go back to this if this don't work. There's no way you're going to put in the work as that other person that only has that and is going for that. So that's what I have in my mind now. I can go back as a longshoreman if this doesn't work out, but I don't even have that in my head. There's no way I'll go back there. This is what I'm going to do.
Burn the bridge behind you.
Exactly.
You can't go back, because whenever you feel like there's a net behind you, a safety net, you're going to be, you know what I mean? You're going to move towards it when times get tough, right? When times get tough and a doubt comes in, because it doesn't matter who you are, sometimes doubt will come into your mind and you have to overcome that doubt. The person that has no fucking plan B never even thinks about the safety net, right? They're like, if I don't do this, it's over, so I have to do it, right? And then when you have to do it, and your mindset is, I have to achieve this, I have to win this next fight, I gotta be the champion, I gotta keep moving, I gotta keep training, I gotta do these 2-a-days for 6 days a week, I gotta grind, then you will put that action in. You will take that action. You'll never be thinking of the easier route. There is no easier route. There's no plan B. There's no fallback option. It's this or failure, and failure isn't an option.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Said it better.
That's awesome. No, I like. You made that decision at 21, the age that the general public, the average person, is hyped about getting their ID so they can start going out legally, right? At the age of people think that they're starting their lives, their party lives. You enjoy your 20s. You said, I'm starting my grind.
Right.
That's a big fucking decision.
Yes.
That's huge.
You have those other things in your head. I just want to make money now so I can go on the vacations. I can hang out with my friends. I could go out. I did the opposite. I'm going to sacrifice my 20s for a better life.
Exactly.
In my 30s, 40s. I want to be... Boxing is a short career, so I'm going to grind all the way till I'm 40, and then I could retire with plenty of money and when I do make the right investments and everything, I'll be able to chill and enjoy the rest of my life.
Exactly. And that's a mistake that most people make, because they want to enjoy their 20s and they think they're going to get to start working the 30s and 40s. But the actual success journey that everybody preaches about, every book I've ever read, every person I've ever followed, it's talking about grinding in your 20s and thinking about the future self when you're 30 and 40 and 50. And then when you're 30, you got kids and you got the house, you have more bills. You got to set yourself up. One day we're going to be 30, and then one day we're going to be 40, and we have a long time ahead of us. We got to grind now in order to shine later. We got to have to work hard now so we can live the lives we want later. If we look at the people nowadays, right? Let's say anybody we look up to in terms of like a entertainer, a superstar, or just a family friend that has a lot of money or a lot of success, a lot of happiness. You could ask them about their lives, and they will always say, from my experience at least, they grinded when they were our age. Like they put the work in right now. They made the relationships. They built the network, and they focused on their goals. They found out what they love to do and started striving for that full force. And now in their 30s and 40s and 50s, they have the money. They have the house they want. They accomplished their dream life, and they're chilling. On the opposite side of that, the people that went out and partied in their 20s, you could tell who those individuals are right now. 50 years old, 40 years old. They're the people that are complaining a lot, victim mindset. They may just hate their jobs. They hate Monday through Friday. They can't wait for the weekends. They end up going out drinking a lot. You know what I mean? Sometimes those individuals have broken marriages and bad family times because they're not happy. So if they're not happy, how could they make the people around them happy? Like it leads to a chain of events that's negative, that you don't want to go down that route. And it's all because you didn't leverage your young years well. So just that decision that you made is so powerful, and it's not easy. I want everybody that's listening to this right now to know that that's not an easy decision, because when we're that age, you never will have more people around you that are trying to pull out your distraction. Yo, let's go out. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it's so not just distracting, enticing. Right? You really want to go do it because it looks so fun, and we're young, and it's all the people we know, and it's like we're finally legally able to drink. We can go. I have a little bit money now from the job I have. I could easily shoot to Mexico for spring break. I could, you know what I mean, go on this vacation with this friend. I can go out to Miami and go to this festival. But now I'm here grinding. I'm in the gym, or I'm in the library. I can't do that right now. I got bigger dreams, bigger goals. Like you said, boxing's a short career, so you got to do it now too.
Right.
You know, it's not easy.
Yeah, sacrifice your early years, and then, like you said, you'd be chilling in those 40s and 50s instead of living. Like if you celebrate now, what are you celebrating if you're partying in 20s, your early 20s, mid 20s? You're not celebrating anything. You're looking for that short term excitement and thrill. And then when you're 30, 40, you're going to be living paycheck to paycheck, and then, like you said, having struggles with your family because you don't have that self-love because you know you messed up in your past, and now you're just trying to get your stuff together, and then by the clock never stops by the time you're 40, 50, and then you're going to look back and be like, oh, it really is too late now.
Yeah,
So,
you're going to have the regret too. That's crazy. But with that being said, can you tell me a little bit about it's a hard decision, like what we're saying, it's a very hard decision. What gets you up every single day to get to the gym? Talk a little about that inspiration, that dedication, like when you're grinding, and it's not easy, and you got to push through that last mile. Like, talk a little bit about that.
There's a lot of things that get me up every day. My number one goal in boxing, the greatest Italian boxer who ever lived is Rocky Marciano, and he's the only one that I look up to because I want, when I retire, to be in the Hall of Fame alongside Rocky Marciano, and I want the conversation to be who is the greatest Italian boxer who ever lived? I want to be in that conversation with Rocky Marciano. It's got to be Rocky Marciano or Anthony Demonte. That is my number one goal in boxing. But also, a top goal for me is creating wealth for my whole entire family. My family is successful and they got their own careers and they're doing good. But I have the opportunity to make millions of dollars, and that can change my whole family's life, my whole bloodline, generational wealth.
Yeah.
My grandkids can be set. That's what really drives me.
Right.
To set up generational wealth. I have the opportunity to do it, and that's what gets me up every day. And I work extra hard because I know I have that opportunity, and I don't want to let it slip. So I make sure I'm the hardest worker in the room, and where every gym that I go to. And right now, it's been paying off. I just got to keep it going. I got to stay consistent. Consistency is key. Just keep going. Don't ever think it's enough is enough. Every time I win a fight, I get that high, and I always bring myself down from that high because the journey just started. I have a long journey ahead of me. I'm not even close right now to that title. Yeah. I'm 3-0, so it's a long journey ahead of me. So I just gotta stay calm, keep consistent, and keep my mindset right.
Exactly. Yo, what a mindset. You're really thinking into the future. Like, talk about delayed gratification over instant gratification. One of the main things you need, not only in this sport, but in the journey of success. You not only have that, but you're thinking way beyond your life, and you're trying to do it for your kids and your grandkids and the generations to come, the entire Demonte bloodline. Yes. Like, that's an amazing goal, and I don't think enough people nowadays really think like that. They more or less just think about what they're going to be able to do tomorrow or right now, and they find that instant gratification. But being able to think long term, and that's not even just long term, that's crazy long term, thinking about the generations to come. You want to be in the history books, you want to be able to provide your family with that financial freedom and that generational wealth. Like, those are two amazing driving factors.
Yes, definitely.
That's huge.
The main thing I feel like this generation gets confused with, because we're all on our phones with social media, is you got to go back to the old school, pen and paper.
Yeah.
Get a piece of paper, and you got to write down those goals. When you write down those goals, it's so powerful, and you read them every day. And when you read them every day and you truly believe them, they will come true. If
100%.
you believe it in your mind. If you have any doubt, though, they're not going to come true.
They're not going to come.
And it could be materialistic things. It could say, I want to drive a Mercedes AMG. That's okay. If that's going to motivate you to get up every day, write that down.
Love that.
And also stuff with your family, making your family better. Write down your goals, pen and paper. Like, this generation's on their phones just way too much, I feel like. And
Distracted.
yeah, go back to that old school. Write all your goals down. Read them over and over again. Keep a strong mindset. And just don't lose the vision.
100%. You couldn't have said it any better. Like, if you truly believe in what you want to accomplish, you will manifest it. It will come into fruition.
Yes, law of attraction.
Law of attraction, 100%. How many books I have on the shelf right here? From Ask and It's Given all the way to Think and Grow Rich. All those books talk about exactly what you just laid out. It is true. You need to have goals that aren't changing on a daily basis. You go and talk to anybody, any of the people around us in terms of like the average person, right? And go ask them what their goal is. Random person. They'll tell you something off the top of their head. Find them 2 weeks later. I guarantee that goal is not the same. It's going to be different because they don't truly even know what they want. They have no knowledge of self, right? They have no idea who they are and what they actually want to accomplish. When you're able to find a goal, write on a piece of paper and stare at that exact same goal day after day, week after week, month after month, and start building a plan to obtain that goal, it will come true. And it doesn't matter what it is. If it's driving a nice luxury car or it's, being the best boxer of all time. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter. If you set your mind to it, truly believe that you're capable of accomplishing it, building a plan and sticking to that plan day after day, year after year, it's going to come true.
Yes.
1000%. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
So with that being said, like that consistency, you mentioned it before, what goes into like the Demonte training camp? Like when you're grinding for your fight, like what does that look like?
So what goes into it, my first training session is at noon, 12 o'clock, a two-hour boxing session. And my trainer always has something different on the menu. He gives me a little at a time, makes me perfect one thing until we move on to the next. So it's always something different. Keeps my brain occupied, doesn't make me get bored. So I'm always learning something new. And then I get home from there, eat a little something, relax, and then I'm off to my second training session, which is usually around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Whether it's running or strength conditioning, or something like that. But the more important thing that I'd like to talk about, the 2 training sessions I've been doing it for so long, amateur into pro, so my body's used to that, and that's not hard for me to train 2 times a day. My work ethic was always strong. My main thing is the mental health. So in between those 2 training sessions, I'm big into meditation. I'm big into visualization.
Really?
And meditation is just so every person, whatever they're doing, whatever they got going on, I feel like there's just a bunch of traffic in that brain. So you need that 30 minutes or an hour to go into a meditation and clear that traffic, clear those negative thoughts, observe those negative thoughts. And then, because mostly negative thoughts aren't true, so you observe them, push those away. Everything that you do is mostly mental, I feel like. If you're an
100%.
athlete or a businessman like yourself, everything's mental. So meditation is very important. And then visualization, I think, is the most important, because you got to see your goals happen in your mind before
100%.
they actually happen in reality. So I'll see myself jumping on those ropes before even a fight, and then see myself winning. I already saw that belt around my waist 1,000,000 times, so I know it's going to happen. I just got to wait for it to happen in reality.
Exactly.
So visualization is so powerful. I already saw my life planned out. I just got to stay on this path, and then it'll happen in reality.
Exactly. Holy shit, that's amazing. Wow. That was phenomenal. You talk not only about the physical, but you said the most important is that mental aspect. I couldn't agree more, and you said that absolutely perfectly. In Think and Grow Rich, right, the 2 most important things that he says on the journey to success is meditation and affirmation is combined with that visualization aspect. The affirmation is like, I will be the champion. Like you're saying, you're affirming it, but you're also visualizing. You can't just say things. You have to say it at a level that you truly believe it.
Right, you have to see it.
You have to see it. You have to, and the way that I look at this, right, and that's the book Ask and It's Given speaks about, you know what I mean, the 2 separate worlds, the spiritual world versus the, the physical world. And When you're visualizing, it's like you're creating it in that spiritual world component, right? But you have to manifest it and bring it into the physical world. And there's two things that go along with that: a component of time and a component of consistency. Consistent action to build that in and connect that and bring that into your world. You see it happening. If you could see it, you could hold it in your hand. If you see it and believe it, you could achieve it. You know what I mean? So with that being said, if you have to be able to, okay, I'm seeing myself on those ropes, and now you're like, well, how do I get to that moment? Well, I got to be a fucking good boxer. I got to win that fight. So now how do I win that fight? I got to train like nobody else trains. I got to fucking get my physical physique to that next level. But it's also a mental game, boxing. People don't realize it's like a game of chess. Oh, yeah. It's very strategic to a next level. And I want you to talk about that after. But that's where you get the meditation. You calm the mind. So when you go in there, there's no emotions that are fucking throwing you left and right. It's focus. It's pure focus. You're going in there, you're about to play a sport. It's a game of chess, but in this, it's more physical. It's with your hands, and you're up against an opponent. You both have an objective. You have to have a clear mind. You have to do what you do best and not let your emotions get the best of you, especially in the ring. You know what I mean? Physical is one thing. Mental is a whole other game. But together, both components are by far very important.
Right. So go hand in hand.
Exactly. And if you want to talk a little bit about the, like the mental aspect of the sport of boxing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I believe boxing is 90% mental, 10% physical. That's because at that top level, you're fighting the best around the world. They're all going to be in the best shape possible. You're going to always run into those specimens that can have an iron chin, can take a punch, keep coming, have that endurance like yourself. But who's mentally stronger? Yeah. When stuff goes wrong, who's going to overcome it and come out the winner? So I think the mental part is the most important thing. And when you said about time, when you were talking about time, that's what I think about the most. All we have in this life is moments and time. Mm-hmm. So you can't look too much into the future. You can't look too much into the past. And that's where meditation comes in. It clears you out, and it makes you live for the present.
Yep.
And take one day at a time. And so I wake up every day and I know I'm not thinking about the future of the fight. I'm not thinking about the past of the bad moments in my life. I'm thinking about what I got to do that day to get a little better that day.
Yep.
And then it's like building a house. You don't just build a house in a second. You one brick at a time. Then you build that beautiful house.
Exactly.
So that's
100%. Rome wasn't built in a day. You stack the bricks slowly and consistently, and after a certain amount of time, you're going to take a step back. And you're like, holy shit, I built a pretty nice house over here. Mm-hmm. You don't even realize it because you're living in the present. Meditation is the practice of being able to live in the present moment. Nowadays, you said it before, right? People are so distracted. They're on their phones. What are the two leading issues nowadays with mental health? It's anxiety and depression. Anxiety is worrying about the future. Depression is focusing on the past. Meditation is the art of focusing on the present, which will eliminate both of those chronic, emotions essentially that are affecting people's mental health. But it's so underutilized today. Do you have any view on why you think meditation is so underutilized in society today?
I think everybody is scared to take that first step. They look at meditation like a monk, like humming and stuff. That's not what meditation is
at all.
And they're like I said, the first step, they don't want to learn. They don't want to take that first step and really learn. It doesn't happen overnight. When I first got into meditation, when I went back to boxing, at first it wasn't helping me, of course, because it's a practice.
Yeah.
And then you get in touch with your mind, and over time, you feel like you can't live life without it. That's how powerful it is. It makes you better in every aspect of your life.
I literally cannot go on with my days and live and operate on the level that I operate on without my meditating practice. I actually I'll feel my emotions dragging me one way or the other, because meditation allows you to really bump up that potential, really bump up that that top line that you're operating at. Everybody has that limit that they got to operate at, and they always try to pump that potential up higher and higher so they could really be able to achieve more. Meditation allows you to slam that fucking thing up to the stars and make you work consistently. Like, people look at you like, yo, you're a beast. How do you work 2 times a day and then I work out twice a day and do this and do that and go in there and run and do these crazy miles, 5 miles, 10 miles in a day? And they don't realize that that's your mental strength that's allowing you to do it. Physical strength is one thing, but our bodies are able to still continue when we're working out usually, but our mind is telling us, no, we're tired, let's give up. It's easier to stop because our brains are designed that way. It's designed for comfort. There's a portion of our brain that wants us to be comfortable, so when things aren't comfortable, it makes us take certain actions to make sure that we're comfortable. It's one job is to make sure we live. So when we feel that we're in a scared scenario, our brain makes our bodies release these hormones, fight or flight, right? You run faster, everything. When you have that certain thing kick off, it's because your brain wants you to make sure that you're okay to live. But when we're working out and getting stressed, your brain's gonna say, yo, chill out. Like, you can give up. It's not that big of a deal. But you have to have that mental toughness to say, shut up to that devil on your shoulder. Shut up. I'm going. I got this in mind. Shut up. Quieting that devil on your shoulder, essentially. And the way that you could do that is by meditating, because it allows you to understand how to use your mind. Your mind is a muscle. You go to the gym, you bench. What is that doing? Strengthening your muscle, your chest, right? But what do you do on a daily basis to strengthen your mind? That's meditation. We have millions of thoughts going in and out of our head every single day. And a lot of them are negative, because we live in a very negative environment with everything from the news and people in general are just so, like, you know, addicted to cynicism in the way that they speak and their level of sarcasm and lack of dreams, lack of hopes, lack of ambitions. You know, they really sell a negative thing, a negative belief system. We need to be able to filter that shit the fuck out. Right. 99% of people are unsuccessful. 1% have that dream life that we really, really want. And we're surrounded by those 99 people.
Right. I love how you brought up negative thoughts, because a lot of people don't know this. They're called ants, automatic negative thoughts. Every human being gets them. And when you get them, most people ignore them and push them to the side. But that just digs you deeper. Those negative thoughts, you got to observe them, because 99% of the time, those thoughts aren't even true.
Yeah.
And then you observe them, you see they're not true, and then you push them to the side, and then it's out of your mind. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people just try to ignore it, and then it just digs you deeper. Meditation brings you into that. It brings those negative thoughts in, but then you observe them. You realize most of them aren't true. And if they are true, you realize why they're true, and then you fix it.
Exactly. Instead of looking at everything and getting overwhelmed of everything that's going on around you and allowing that to bring doubt into your mind and eliminate your action, eliminate your focus, eliminate your belief in your dreams, right? You have to take a step back and say, you know what I mean? Okay, like, yeah, this may not work out, and you start focusing on those negative thoughts, but also realizing, you know what, I have no idea what's going to come tomorrow, so why am I going to think about this side of the spectrum, say, oh, I may lose, I may fail, I may lose my money? Why aren't you thinking about the positive side of the equation? They have the same probability of happening, right? Losing the fight, winning the fight, same probability in your mind. You have no idea what's going to happen. Why are you going to say, oh, I may lose, I may do this? No. Think about, I'm going to win. I'm going to win this, and I believe in the positive side, but we're automatically the ants. I never heard that acronym, but I love that. Automatic negative thoughts. We're automatically conditioned to say, what happens if everything goes wrong? Worst case scenario, because the human mind doesn't like uncertainty. It doesn't like not knowing what's going to happen, so we try to anticipate and project, right, what's going to happen. And we like to be, realistic in certain instances. So we say, what's the worst case scenario? Let's try to process that, get ready for a worst case scenario. So if that happens, I expected it and I removed some uncertainty. But that's not the case. The worst case scenario and the best case scenario have the same probability of occurring. Why are you going to focus on that?
Right.
But we're conditioned to.
Yes.
Life ain't an easy journey. Like, if you want to be successful in life itself, in the game of life, you got to be strong mentally, and you got to be able to persevere and be consistent. And you can't persevere and be consistent when you're constantly thinking about negative things and you constantly have doubt in the back of your mind. Because when you have those things, you're gonna talk yourself out of it. You're not gonna move forward with it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to be successful. It's not an easy journey. But when you're strong-minded and you're telling yourself at the end of the tunnel, there's a gold pot. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going through hell right now. Why stop? Let's keep moving. Let me get out of this. I'm the one who's going to bring myself out of this environment and out of this scenario and bring myself to that glory. That person was able to do it. Why can't I? Are they better than me? They're not better than me. They all start at the bottom like me. Awareness of other people who are already successful of what we're trying to strive for right now have started at the bottom. And they just grinded consistently. If they could do it, why can't I? We're both human beings, and I believe in myself. I love myself. I know that I'm capable of achieving something. They could do it. I could do it. I'm going to do it. That is the mindset, in my opinion, that people need to develop, right, in order to be successful. Everybody has something they love, whether it's boxing, whether it's business, whether it's, arts or technology. It doesn't matter what it is. Mm-hmm. You love something. And whatever you love it for a reason, because you have a purpose in this life. I feel like everybody comes to this earth because they have a purpose to fulfill. Fulfill to move the earth forward. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Essentially, make this a better place, right? And in order for you to fulfill that purpose, right, that you're here for, you have a set of desires, right? And a set of things and a set of dreams, right? A set of dreams and desires. You may desire that luxury car. You may desire, to be a multi-billionaire, but that's because you need $1 billion to carry out your level of impact in this world. You need $1 billion to be able to, you know what I mean, really start feeding the people in Africa or changing the way that the third world countries are operating. You know what I mean? You need some big amount of money. If that's your purpose, to fix that part of the world, you need a couple $1 billion. To get a couple $1 billion, you need to love money. If you love money, you're going to try to get money. You know what I mean? So people are like, oh, don't go chase the money. Don't love the money. No, if you love the money, own it. Yeah. Own it. You love money, then go fucking get money. Because guess what? You're about to do something good with that money. You need money to fulfill your journey. Some people may not care about money. Their journey may be something different, and they don't even care to accomplish that money, to achieve that money and grow it. Then don't care that much and don't chase the money. But if you love money, go get it. Because I guarantee whatever your purpose is that you were sent here to do, you need money to fulfill that. You need money to make that impact. So own it. That's the one thing that I see. Like, everybody has purpose. Everybody has a reason to be here. And you have desires that are crafted around fulfilling that purpose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
God gives everybody a gift. Everybody a gift. But it's your job to find that gift. And it's your job to do whatever it takes to make it a reality and make your dream come true.
Love
but
that.
God, every person on this earth is special. God gives everybody a gift, maybe multiple gifts.
Yeah.
But it's your job to find what he gifted you with.
Exactly. Very well said too, as well. Because he gives you that gift, but if you can't find out what that is because you're not actively looking for it, then do you even deserve it?
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
That's a good thing to think. I don't think you deserve it either, because if you're not showing that you are actually going to dedicate the life that he gave you to find what that gift is because you really want it and you want to expand it and do something with it, you don't deserve it. If everybody just gets a gift, let's use this analogy. Somebody has a very wealthy family, they have a kid, and they just give them the gift, and give them the gift, and give them the gift. And what is that doing? That's spoiling them. Right. That's spoiling them. They're not going to appreciate the gift. But if that kid grinded for that gift is going to be very treasured. It's going to be that precious.
That's appreciation.
Exactly.
And then he'll want to grind more to
he's going to use it. More. He's going to keep it safe. You know what I mean? He's going to really value it because it came with hard work. It came with dedication. He had to grind for that. So I think since that's a way where, that's a great analogy to look at, like from raising a kid. If we all could be considered, I don't know what religion, doesn't matter. We're all the children of God. He has a gift for us, but he's not going to keep giving it to us without us working for it.
Right, nothing in
this
life
spoiled.
Comes for free.
Nope, because then we'll get spoiled, and then we'll get entitled, and then we won't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we'll always want excess. We'll always want more, and that's, you know what I mean? That's being spoiled. So I think that's the fucking key to really achieving what you got to do. You got to look for, you got to grind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With that being said, so when's your next fight?
My next fight is October 30th, which is 2 weeks from 13 days from today.
13 days.
In Atlantic City. My second fight in Atlantic City. I was the co-main event. My last fight, I'm going to be the co-main again.
Nice.
And it's going to be crazy because AC, everybody's in AC for Halloween weekend already. So
yep. Oh, wow. October 30th. That's a Saturday, right?
Yep.
Okay, wow. That's
a lot
big
of people,
day.
A lot more people this time, and a lot of people look at it like you have all those people watching you. I sold 215 tickets on a 2 weeks notice last time. I'm probably going to do close to 400 tickets this time.
Wow.
And a lot of people look at me and say it's a lot of pressure. But I feel like pressure could make you fall or pressure can make diamonds. And for me, I think it makes diamonds. I rise when the pressure gets tough is when I rise.
Yeah, you're good under pressure?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what you need in this
My whole
sport.
life, I've been selling a lot of tickets. Thanks to my father. He owns a business, Demonte's.
Mm-hmm.
And he grew up there in Brooklyn. So he has a lot of people he knows there.
Nice.
And so most of my tickets he sells out of there. So I have a good, strong support system and following from my amateur career.
Okay.
And now it's going into pros. And I also have a big family. And, Staten Island, we're all tight.
Mm-hmm.
Small island. We all support each other. So a lot of people come out to see me. It's just going to keep, and I'm fighting every month, so it's just going to keep increasing and increasing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, it's 100% increase over the last one. In 2 weeks, you sold 200. You're projected to sell 400, and at this rate, next time is going to be 800, and then compound interest, man. If you keep doubling the amount of tickets you're selling per show, you're going to be selling thousands and thousands of tickets in a year's time and 2 years time, and you're going to be what, just in your late 20s, 26, 27 at that time when you're selling thousands and selling out crowds.
Yes.
Compound interest is a hell of a fucking thing. You went from 200 to 400, 400 to 800, 800 to 1600, 1600 to 3200, 32 to 64, 64 to over 12,000. You're going to explode exponentially because you're on this trajectory right now that at least I see it. You know what I mean? From your Instagram, from what I see and you're doing on TikTok, like your grind is unlike I've ever seen before.
Thank you.
Your fights, it's like we're looking at. I sit down with my brother and we're looking at him like, yo, like he's filthy. Like this is amazing. This is amazing stuff to be watching right now. Like he's going in there, like his head movement is ridiculous. These people can't touch him, but he's countering them. Like I don't see like that speed. Like even in professional fights, you're still fighting professional. I'm talking about like when I watch like people like 20 fights under their belt and like the undercards for like Demonte Wilder and Tyson Fury. Like I see those people, I'm like, they're not even moving like this kid's moving. It's a really exciting thing to watch.
Yes, the key with my boxing is my movement. That's what makes me different. Like you see that footwork. When I started boxing at 13, for the first 4 months, I didn't even throw a punch. It was all footwork.
Wow.
Yeah, to make sure I don't cross my legs and learn how to. That's an old school thing that goes back to the Customado days when it was just footwork. That's the sweet science. And defense first, 90% defense, 10% offense. You gotta the less punishment you take in this sport is the longer you'll last. And I have that in my head, so I make sure I don't get hit in there. And defense first, and then the offense comes off the defense.
Exactly. And looking at one of my favorite fighters of all time, Floyd Mayweather, that's the exact strategy he has. So many critics, but when you're the greatest, you'll always have the haters. Yep. You'll always have that. He is the best at what he does because he never took that punishment, and he always punished in return. He was always like that counter fighter,
yes,
right?
19 years he ran the game, on top of the game for 19 years. And maybe some people that aren't big boxing fans will think it's because he's so quick, or it's because it's because he was the smartest.
Yeah,
he wasn't the toughest, he wasn't the quickest, he was the smartest.
Exactly.
And he allowed himself to go through those fights, like you said, without taking any punishment, and that's why he lasted so long in the sport, and that's why he retired with all his marbles.
Exactly.
And you don't see that a lot today. A
Not
lot of
at
boxers, it's a sad thing that they retire and they have a lack of speech or they have brain damage. And he was one of the few that got out of that sport on top and healthy.
Exactly.
And that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business and it's a sport. You want to go home to your family. You want to make sure you leave that ring like you came in healthy.
Exactly.
So that's the main thing. And that's what I pray for every time I step into that ring, that myself and my opponent leave the ring healthy, because at the end of the day, it is just a sport.
It's just a sport. Exactly.
We want to go home to our families healthy.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better, and that's the best way to put it. That's such a great mindset. But it also shows you that what you need to focus on, right? You need to focus on that defensive component where you don't want to get hit. It's the sport of lasting long. You said it's a short sport. You have to have that longevity, though, if you want to be like someone like Floyd Mayweather. He was running the sport for 19 years, 50-0, because he wasn't getting punished in the ring. As much as you look at a heavyweight bout, they're getting beat up in that ring. You can't really fight for 19 years and do that unless you're going to end up like, unfortunately, some of these greats like Muhammad Ali, you take that punishment in there. You have a brain inside your head, and every time you get punched, you're getting that concussion. It's shaking the brain. It's not good for you. It's very, very bad for you, and it's not worth the money you get paid if you're going to lose your mental health, or you're going to lose, the most important thing, the thing that your speech, sometimes your functionality. People get paralyzed. You could become really damaged, right? It's a dangerous sport in that regard. So your defense got to be on top.
Yeah, it's not a game. That's why there's deaths every year in the sport of boxing. Last year there was 2 deaths. The year before that there was 3 deaths.
Really?
Yeah, there's people dying in that ring because it's not a game. You could play football, you could play basketball, you can't play boxing, and that's why you got to take it serious. You got to give 110% in the ring and outside the ring. What you do outside the ring is very important too.
100%.
Sustain yourself from alcohol, drugs, and live a clean lifestyle, clean diet.
Exactly.
That is just as important as the training, maybe even more important.
Right, exactly. That's great. So what goes into leading up to the fight? Do you have a specific routine 2 weeks before that you do in terms of what you're eating, in order to make weight but also keep that energy? What goes into that?
Yeah, the diet is very clean. There's no bread in my diet. I don't eat after 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Not a lot of close to no sugar, lean fishes, lean meats, and I'm lucky to have a trainer that tells me what to eat every day, so I don't even have to focus on that. And my mother is my nutritionist, so she tells me what I have to eat that day. I call my mother. She gets it ready for me. So it takes a lot of mental stress off me. I really just have to focus on the boxing and on my mental health.
Exactly.
The diet and everything will be there. It's just the discipline to do it and not cheat.
Exactly.
And if you cheat, you're cheating yourself. So
exactly.
So I stay
That's
disciplined,
huge,
and it's been paying off. Like I said, I just got to keep that consistency, because consistency makes greatness.
100%.
Yeah, stay consistent, and the greatness will come.
100%. With the consistency, with a component of time, like you said earlier.
Right.
That's the two things. You got to stay consistent and make sure like you're going through that. You're going for that big goal. It's going to take time. It's going to take a good amount of time to manifest that greatness, right? To become great, to become the top of the top. Just know that you're in it for the long run, like you said, and always be thinking about that end goal, and that's what's going to push you through. So that's exactly how to put it. So going into the fight, right, October 30th, or if you want to talk about your last fight, so fight day. What does fight day look like in the eyes of Anthony Demonte?
Fight day is a lot of stress. I mean, me, like I said, I live for moments in time, so I take one day at a time. The day before is the weigh-in, so I'm not even thinking about the fight yet. I'm thinking about making weight. I weigh in, I eat, I go to sleep nice, but then when I wake up, then the fight's on my mind. Thinking about, like you said, those negative thoughts coming in, those ants, observing them, trying to keep myself calm, and then I just put in my head when I'm in that locker room is just have fun in there. I'm doing this because I love this.
Yeah.
So, and I did everything I could do in the gym. I didn't cut no corners, and that's a great feeling when you knew you did everything and you put that sacrifice in. So then the fight day is the fun time of the journey. So like the training is the hardest part. That's when you take the most punishment too, and the sparring and everything, and what goes into that, a lot of sacrifice. In my mind, the fighting is the fun part. So I listen to a lot of relaxing music before the fight, and I go in there with a mentality is that I'm just gonna have fun in there, and I'm just gonna react because I'm ready for this. I did everything I could do. So just have fun. And I just go in there and I just have fun and fight my heart out.
Do what you do best. Mm-hmm. You leave it all, your confidence, and you leave it all up to yourself. You know that you're going to react. You know that you've been working up until this day to train your mind to be able to know what to do in every situation in that ring. And you want to go in there with the confidence that your training is going to come and get you that trophy, get you that win at the end of the day. Do you meditate before the fight?
Every day I meditate every morning. So that's another thing. I don't look at fight day different than a day waking up and going to training.
Nice.
You know, I take it like it's another day at the office. So I wake up, I do my meditation, I eat breakfast. You know, I take it like a regular day because it really is. I do this every day. I spar with pro boxers, world champions. Like I'm in there with the cream of the crop. So what goes through my mind is like, what can this guy show me that I haven't seen already in the gym, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm very calm going into every fight, knowing that I did everything possible to get the win. And what it's going to be is what it's going to be. So I go in there calm and just give my best, and that's all you could do at the end of the day.
Exactly, 100%. That's awesome that you say you just treat it like a regular day. I feel like a lot of people, when they go into that, you know, that performance, right? Whatever it is, the boxing, or maybe it's a call with a C-suite executives at a firm, they may view it differently. You know what I mean? Because like, this is like what I've been, you know, this is the big stage. Pressure starts to break them. You shine under pressure because you're like, I'm not gonna let this phase me.
Yeah, and they start to do things different that they don't usually do. That can make you worse. You know,
100%.
You're not used to doing those
exactly.
things.
You're not operating.
But that's your mind bugging out that this is the big moment. I got to maybe do this to get the edge. Or do that. No, you just take it like a regular day at the office and do what you do best. Do what you've been training to do.
Exactly. Wow, it's an amazing way to look at it. You got to take it like a regular day. Mm-hmm. Nothing's different. You've been doing this every single day. It's what you do on a daily basis. It's what you're confident in. It's what you're working towards. There's nothing different. That's when I enter that ring and I spar the world champion to prep for this fight. There's nothing different when I enter the ring to fight my opponent for today. Same thing. Right. Same day. I'm boxing. I know how to box. I prep for it. I'm very confident in my abilities. I'm very confident in my training. I'm going to go in there, no nerves, calm mind. It's time to get to do what I do best. It's a great way to look at it. You know, I feel like a lot of people are listening to this right now. They need to apply that into their lives directly. Whether you're a construction worker, whether you're a teacher, you're a corporate business person, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're a basketball player, or another boxer. It doesn't matter what you do on a daily basis. Just make sure that you prep to the level that you're confident in your abilities, and then when you go to do that performance, whether it's give a presentation or, try to get a sale or go into the World Series game or the big game or go into that fight. You know that you're confident, you're able to be relaxed, you don't let your mind throw you off your game, and you just do what you do best.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. And when you're in a fight, who do you have in your corner? Are you able to pick the people in your corner, or?
My trainer, Lenny DeJesus, who is a Hall of Famer. He came out of retirement for me.
Nice.
My promoter got him out of retirement to train me, and he's been amazing. I feel like I'm back in school, like learning new things every day. And then I also have my little brother in my corner, he works pads with me and stuff like that. It helps me a lot in camp. Mm-hmm. And my father's my manager, so my father's also in my corner as well.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, keep it in the family.
That's nice. Sick. Nice tight group right there. People are cheering you on. You got everything from a Hall of Famer with that level of knowledge and ability to listen. He's a Hall of Famer in the sport. What else can I say about him? But then you also got your family that who else knows you better than them, and who loves you more than them and got your back more than them. So when you look back and see them in that corner, it reminds you of the 2 goals you said you had, right? Generational wealth, but also the championship. You got the Hall of Famer that's saying, I got to achieve what he achieved, that he was able to do. And he's going to be telling you, I was able to do it. You got this. You are that person. Then you see your family who's also telling you that message, but you're looking them to the eyes and saying, this is also for you too.
Right. That also, what you said is powerful because it helps me a lot. He had 15 world champions, and he told me, Anthony, you will be a world champion. You just stay focused, listen to me every day, and keep giving me 100%, and you will get there. I already believed it, but someone that was already in the sport, that knows the sport, telling me that I can definitely do it, it helps me so much more.
It increases your confidence.
It increases my confidence, increases my belief too.
Yes.
And then having my family in my corner too, as well, is just even when my dad comes to see me spar, it's a big motivation because that's the person I look up to the most, you know. And my little brother, I want to be a role model for him, so that increases my motivation. So
exactly,
it's the perfect corner. I have everything perfect lined up. It's all up to me to make it happen.
Yep, exactly, and that's amazing. I love your positive outlook on life. I love the way that you look at everything from your training to the big day. I love how you look at your family to your mental health. I love everything about you. Just screams champion, just screams the next biggest thing. It really just projects like success, and I truly say that from the bottom of my heart, fully honest. Like everything that you spoke about today just lays out legendary. So I want to let you know that.
Thank you. And the crazy thing about it is all those positive things you said about me, none of that could happen unless you don't have self-love and work on yourself mentally. The meditation, the visualization, working on the physical aspect of the boxing. That makes you a better son, a better brother, a better fighter to your trainer, a better son to my mother. Like everyone that I deal with in my life, if I didn't work on myself as much, I can't be those things.
Exactly.
So that's what a lot of people don't understand. Yourself is the most important, because if you don't work on yourself enough, you can't be good to the people around you.
At all. People don't realize that you have to be selfish to a level of your self-love and your
mental health.
Your mental health. You have to be selfish, because if I have this bottle of water and it's empty because I'm not focusing on myself, what am I going to pour into somebody else's glass that needs some water? But if my bottle of water is full, right? I always focus on filling that up and keeping that bottle full. I'll be able to give you some water if you need it. I'll be able to give my wife some water if she needs it. I'll be able to give my kids water if they need it, and my parents if they need it. And then I focus again on filling it up. But if I never focus on filling it up, I have this bottle of water, I give it to all the people around me, but now it's empty, and they need more water. I don't have any water for myself. It's not good for me, and then it starts damaging the relationships with the people around me.
Right. You couldn't have said that better. 100%.
You know what I mean? So I love how you brought that up, though. You have to focus on yourself, because if you really care about the people around you, they deserve the best you. And you deserve the best them. And in order for both of you to be your best selves, you got to focus on yourself and put yourself first. I love how you brought that up.
Yes.
But with that being said, I'm really excited for October 30th. I think you're going to be doing absolutely amazing in that ring, as always. You know what I mean? As always. And the fights are usually on YouTube, right? If anyone want to catch it?
Yes. If you look up Anthony Demonte boxing on YouTube, all my fights come up. My 3 pro fights and a lot of my amateur fights too come up.
Okay,
so
cool.
And support me, and then the general boxing on Instagram.
Nice. And if somebody wanted to buy tickets, where could they go?
My bio on Instagram, you click the link and you buy them right off Eventbrite.
Perfect. And where is it in AC? Is it at the Borgata?
It's at the Showboat.
Okay, cool. Nice.
The Showboat. It's next door from the Hard Rock.
Nice. Well, that's fucking huge.
Perfect. Yeah. So people staying at the Hard Rock or Ocean. Ocean's like a 5-minute walk. So.
Okay, cool. I know. That's awesome. That's sick. Well, I wish you the best of luck on October 30th. I know for a fact you're going to be 4-0 on that day. You're going to leave there the champion because you already are a champion.
Thank you.
All you have to do is bring in from one portion of this universe, which is the spiritual portion. You got to manifest it to the physical world, and you're doing every single thing possible to make sure that happens. So just keep fighting, keep grinding, keep doing everything you're doing right now. You're going to be something huge, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, man.
100%. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm really excited. With that being said, everybody go check out the General Boxing on Instagram. Check him out. Link in his bio to get those tickets, and look him up on YouTube to see his amazing highlight reel. If anything, I'm gonna have my editor throw some highlights at the end of this video. So stick around. At the end of this video, we're gonna have some highlights. If you could send me some of that content as well.
Beautiful. 100%. I will.
100%. Stay positive, and we'll talk soon.
The D's ain't that good, these niggas is ratting. They tell them what's going on, that's how they know what's happening. I'm riding with the top down, trunk full of Yola. Ghetto pharmaceutical, I move that Coca-Cola. 1,000 grams of Purito, I fuck with the weirdos. They snort away the pain, bang the dope in they vein. Shorty crying, Christmas ain't coming, our pops locked up. When it hurts the worst, she aged, find out she knocked up. Welfare ain't an option when the feds come knocking. It's all fucked up, so wish me luck.